Hi, good afternoon. My name's Tom Griffin, and I'm the Chief of Police here in the city of Peabody. And I'm here with, I know you by
Catherine?
Babe, but what's that?
Catherine's my real name.
Catherine's your real name?
Babe's my nickname because I was the baby of the family. I'm called by either one, so
Okay.
whichever one is fine.
And Kelly?
Kelly's my granddaughter.
Yep. And Teddy is her great-grandson.
Great-grandson. And we're here today to talk to you folks about a pretty interesting story about an officer here who gave his life in the line of duty by the name of Edward Scott Johansen. A lot of you folks out there may know him as Scotty Johansen. He was a policeman here in the 60s and early 70s, and unfortunately he contracted a disease and he ended up passing away. And we'll talk a little bit about that. In November of 1971, there was a call for a disturbance out by Brown's Pond, and Scotty and Jack and some of the guys went out, and there was a guy there that kind of gave him a little bit of a hard time, and he ran away, and they chased him. They caught him, and the guy went into cardiac arrest. And Scotty actually took the efforts and gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. They brought him back. I think the gentleman lived for another 18 or 19 years.
I think so.
And
yeah.
That night they got a phone call from J.B. Thomas. That's how far back we're talking. And they were told to come up, that they probably should get some shots because the man had hepatitis. And unfortunately for Scotty, the shots didn't work. He found out probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, like 6 or 7 months later when he neneeded to get some surgery on his legs.
He went into J.B. Thomas because he had a bad left leg. He went in for a ligation. And the veins were getting so bad, sometimes he had no feeling in his leg. So Dr. Samedi said, I think it's about time you had that leg fixed. So he went in, and my phone rang about 9 o'clock, and he said, guess what? They scrubbed the operation.
Wow.
So I guess what happened was the lab caught something 20 minutes before the operation.
Wow.
To cancel it.
Wow.
So they found his platelets were low.
Yeah.
And they called in a specialist, a hematologist, Dr. Baldwin. So Dr. Baldwin came in, they took tests, found out his platelets were low, and asked if he had ever been exposed to hepatitis or anything like that. And he said, yes, I was. He went that time without any medication, not knowing that he had it.
That
the
he
doctor
had it,
said he was so strong, he was fighting it for all that time.
His own body was.
So then they put him on medication, but
by then it had taken hold.
And I'll never forget the day I went up to the hospital to visit him, and he wasn't himself. He was down, and I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "I was just informed by the doctor that I can't be a policeman anymore. I have to retire."
That must have been a sad day.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It really.
I know
was.
he stayed with us, I think, on sick leave for a couple of years.
He did.
And then in
and out of the hospital.
And then in 1974, he officially retired.
Yes. Yeah.
And with the disability, because it was connected to what happened at work. I think he would have been very successful here in the police department.
Oh, yes.
As the time went on. Just everyone I've talked to, and obviously he cared about people.
He did.
He cared about the guys, and he was one of those natural leaders, from what I can tell. From listening to everybody, and it's very unfortunate that this occurred the way it did. But and I'm sure when it happened, I know the department had a big turnout, and the pallbearers, and I know the department did everything they could at the time. And now we're going to move forward and have his name put on the memorial down in Washington, and that's something I think is time due. I think it's important. I think we need to recognize his sacrifice and your family's sacrifice. From what I understand, you never even had the opportunity to meet him.
They've heard a lot. They've heard a lot about him. And
No, all we ever heard was how great a guy he was, and all the little things about him, his sense of humor, and just over the years, just so many stories and so many things. And it was sad growing up without him, especially knowing what a great guy he was. He sounded like he would have been the most fun and loving grandfather that we could hope for. So it's definitely sad, and I'm glad he's being recognized for
Well, I think it's
and
well
for my
deserved.
grandmother,
And I'm happy
after all
that
these years and everything she gave up, that he's being honored the way he should be.
Oh, I think it's great. And again, the family thanks you.
Well, they don't have to thank me.
Without you, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, I mean,
From someone looking at a picture.
But it was kind of fate that it came together the way it did, and I'm glad I'm glad, you know, and I'm glad you're going to be able to come down to Washington,
Oh, yeah.
and that'll be a nice tribute, and
It
we're
will,
going to try and
yeah, I guess it's
do some
beautiful.
things.
You
Yeah,
know, the whole
yeah.
ceremony is
it's
very
going to be very
touching.
nice.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll try and get some photos and film back for you folks to see back here in Peabody
Yeah.
over this and stuff.
From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Edward Scott Johansen.
I'm glad I had the chance to have you come in.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
nice to
nice
see you
talking
again.
to you.
Thank
and-
you
Nice to
so
meet
much
you.
for having us.
Alrighty.
We
Yes,
appreciate
thank you for having
your
us.
time.
On the 28th of June, we're going to hopefully have something here.
Oh,
I think it's that's the anniversary.
it is 28.
And then in September, they have a monument in behind the State House in Boston.
Oh, that's in
And
September.
we'll put his name on that, and I'll keep you in the loop on all of that.
Oh,
so.
great.
Well, that wraps it up for today. So thank you very much for watching, and
Yes.
have a great day.
Thank you.